Right, welcome back, and continuing on with our discussion to the Palestinian-Israeli conflict and Egypt's constant policy towards the issue, plus efforts to culminate the situation. We have with us over the phone His Excellency Ambassador Gamal Bayoumi, former Assistant Foreign Minister. Good afternoon to you.
Good afternoon.
We've seen the escalation in the situation in the Palestinian-occupied territories, and we have seen different moves by Egypt in particular, and of course other players. Let me take here your reading to the whole situation.
Unfortunately, it is a sad story which we see every now and then, and it will continue. I must say it will continue. I'm not optimistic about that. Israel insists to continue attacking the Palestinian people, and sorry to say that we have now one of the worst governments in the world and in Israel itself, very far rightist. They do not deny that they will commit crimes against the Palestinians. They do not recognize even the word Palestine, but this will lead them nowhere, because the most close friends to Israel would advise them to accept the two-state solution. Even President Biden, when he came to have the meeting with the 9 head of states of the Arab world, he changed his position from asking the Arabs to consider Iran as the enemy and to establish a pact against Iran. He changed this position because of the strong reaction of our Minister of Foreign Affairs that the enemy is not Iran, the enemy is the one who is occupying Golan in Syria, who is occupying the Palestinian territories, who is killing our brothers in Palestine. So President Biden started to change his position, and he called on Israel to accept the two-state solution, because one state will be having a majority of Arabs. This is not for the favor of the future of Israel at all. But I don't know whether those people can read the history quite well, or they are real politicians rather than criminal people. So we have to live with this, but I am quite convinced that with a strong Palestinian position, with the help of the whole Arab world, with us going to the international community asking for support, it is a matter of time. Then we shall see, inshallah, a practical settlement of this problem, because you cannot tolerate, Israel cannot tolerate to face 7 million Arabs, Palestinians living on their own land.
Egypt's constant policy and diplomacy was always seeking peaceful solutions. However, this time we are witnessing a kind of firm stance from Egypt towards the issue, and we have heard the statements of Foreign Minister Sameh Shoukry in Munich Security Conference in Berlin. How do you view Egypt's position? How do you view Egypt's proposals for culmination and recent mediation efforts?
I lived this history since we were children. Egypt is the largest supporter to the Palestinian question, whether by force, when we commit 4 wars against the Israeli occupation of Palestine. I always say that there isn't any family in Egypt without victims in the war for Palestine. I have 2 of my cousins sacrificed their lives for this sake. On the other hand, when we started the peace process during the late President Sadat, we insisted to have the Palestinian question on top of our priorities, and no way to ignore the Palestinian right to have their own Palestinian state. to live together with the Israeli state. But now you have extremists who do not accept that others can live with them. It is a very complicated case, especially that we are living a world with double standards whenever you deal with any problem like that. You hear in the closed room something, you hear something else in the air, you hear something, a third position if you go to the United Nations. But we can live with this. We have the strongest foreign policy in our world, and we have a fair question which we are behind it until we reach a suitable solution for our Palestinian brothers and for our security also.
But this time, Egypt was very specified and very firm. Why is Egypt the most powerful mediator to all regional conflicts, and particularly the Palestinian cause?
This is a sort of success to our foreign policy. Egypt is one rare country with direct relation with any part of the world. And I always say I am proud that Cairo is the largest capital in the world hosting foreign embassies and missions. So in any problem, if you talk about Sudan, about Yemen, about Libya, in Palestine, all the Palestinian factions, Egypt has direct contacts with all of them. And we can talk to the Israelis, we can talk to the Palestinians. So Egypt is a rare case where we can play the fair mediator among all of them. But this is a special case these days that we have a sort of extremist among the Israeli government. So we have to live with this for some time until they say that this policy is a failure for them and it wouldn't help Israel at all.
Finally here, sir, and I only have 2 minutes left for me, how do you view the response of the international community towards the issue and the regional conflicts at large?
I assure you that as a diplomat, whenever I am talking to any diplomat in the whole world, Americans, Europeans, German, French, they agree that you have a point, that the Palestinians have the right to have their own independent state with East Jerusalem as a capital. Nobody denies this. But the game in the United Nations, the game on the practical field is totally different, and we have to accept this, we have to live with this, but we have to continue resisting these policies and these practices of the Israelis. And really, I here salute and admire the position of our brothers in Palestine, and we encourage them to continue their fight against this unfair occupation.
Yes, indeed. Remains to be seen how the situation will be exacerbated and hopefully things would be culminated. Your Excellency, Ambassador Gamal Bayoumi, former Assistant Foreign Minister, thank you so much for being with us and for your input. And definitely Egypt has made some proposals to both sides. And has called on the international community to assume the responsibility towards pressuring the Israeli sides for culmination. I guess that takes us to the end of this episode of our Arab Affairs. Next Saturday would be another important file, hopefully, and hopefully for things to be much culminated in the Palestinian occupied territories. Many thanks for watching.